Nonsense Chicks coming at you February 9th, 2017.
We would like to take you to Australia.
That is a very difficult accent. You are not going to get the entire episode in an Australian accent.
Come on, mates.
We have the Crocodile Dundee.
That's about
all we got.
Steve Owen.
Oh, crikey. That's all you have. That's it.
All right, so speaking of Trump's border wall, you would think Australia with a big giant moat wouldn't have a problem. You know, because I would think that Trump would do miles and miles of ocean if he could. We're just talking about a wall. But your ocean, obviously...
They got a good moat there, mate.
They're working. It's working here. That's what this article is about. Operation Sovereign Borders, over 900 days since last migrant boat actually reached Australia. If you come here by boat without a visa, you won't be settled in Australia. Many of you have heard the phone call between the president of Australia, you're Prime Minister there, and the president of the United States, and it maybe didn't go so well because they wanted to. Obama made this thing. We're going to take your migrants.
Obama made a deal with them that we would take half
and half, 50-50s.
Right, that didn't go over so well with Trump.
Trump's like, why do I need to take your dudes? Okay, it's been over 900 days since the last illegal migrant boat reached Australia, according to Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, underlining the success of the Commonwealth's uncompromising Stop the Boats policy.
I like that name. Stop them boats.
We have now gone over 900 days without a successful people smuggling venture coming here, he said. This is a remarkable achievement and one on which we can never be complacent. We stand for security, for borders with integrity. Look around the world at the grief and the turmoil that you see through lax border protection. So Australians must know that their government and their government alone determines who can come to Australia. I can't get over the fact that you were surrounded by an ocean.
And
miles and miles of ocean.
I can just see the American protests right now. You know what I mean? No boats, no ban. No boats, no ban. Because it was always no wall, no ban. No wall, no ban.
Yes boats, no ban.
Oh, yes boats,
no ban.
Thank you. There you go. Yes boats, no ban. Sorry.
Operation Sovereign Borders, introduced by former Prime Minister Tony Abbott in 2013, sees smuggler boats intercepted at sea and migrants either return to where they came from or taken to offshore processing centers. Migrants found to be legitimate asylum seekers, meaning you're from a war-torn area, have been settled in third world countries at Australia's expense, millions of dollars just to make sure.
I love that they're sending them to third world countries,
like Cambodia, actually. Some asylum seekers resettled under this policy of return to their home countries. But I want you to watch this. It's pretty intense. Great. This video is produced in English by the Australian government to ensure the transparency of translated anti-people smuggling communication material being delivered to audience offshore.
You will be turned back.
The Australian government's arrangement with the United States of America to resettle some refugees is a one-off solution that is not available to new arrivals. It will not be available to anyone who attempts to arrive in Australia in the future. You will be intercepted and turned back. Don't waste your money or risk your life. Don't be misled by the lies of people smugglers. Australia's borders are stronger than ever.
The ocean's stronger than it's ever been.
We have increased our aerial surveillance and we have deployed more ships to ensure that future people smuggling boats will be intercepted. Let me be clear. Australia's border protection policies have not changed. Permanent settlement in Australia will never be an option if you try to come illegally by boat. You will be intercepted and you will be turned back.
I'm just wondering here, what is the difference between the intercepting boat phenomenon and the wall? Because, and every time I hear that, our borders have never been stronger. No, the ocean is the ocean is the ocean. You are your own border. You're a moat. That's what castles are surrounded by, moats.
To keep the enemy away.
Miles and miles. What if Trump said, you know what? We're just chopping off the continent. We're getting miles of water all around us. Canada, forget it. Mexico, forget it.
Then we would need...
We got it covered.
Aerial and sea surveillance.
Now, by contrast, the European Union continues to transport migrants intercepted at sea to EU soil. And most migrants, including Berlin terrorist Anis Emri, are not held while their asylum applications are processed.
You're just allowed to go free across the land while we process your papers.
Consequently, illegal sea crossings to Italy reached record-breaking levels in 2016, and total sea crossings for 2015 estimated well over 1 million by United Nations agencies.
Listen, Italy ain't that big to start with.
This picture shows them, and I just wanted to let you guys know that
that's like me gaining 100 pounds.
2014, 170,000. These are not. It says that it was. These are young men. These are young.
You mean they're not little
African
children
men
and old people and?
No, I know. And then it talks about the crime is double, triple, quadruple in a lot of cases. It's just crazy. I feel sorry for the people in Italy. I mean, it's just crazy. It says that the BBC claims that at their peak, people smugglers brought 18,000 illegal migrants to Australia by boat.
You guys, this is not
and that's the half
thing
that we were supposed to take as Americans.
As people smuggling Jews out of Germany or anywhere else. This is not the same thing.
Most of them came from Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Sri Lanka by way of Indonesia. The journey was extremely dangerous and people did die. Australia had the tough love stop boats policy prompted by this drowning disaster off of Christmas Island. Thousands of migrants have drowned on European sea crossings too, prompting Mr. Abbott to advise EU leaders that if you want to stop the deaths and you want to stop the drownings, you've got to stop the boats. We have to understand that the European Union called these people in. Right. They were a magnet. They said they got, we were talking about it. Like there was a memo sent out to all of these African and these Northern African countries, and that's what it was like. Europe's going to take you. Europe's going to take you. Hundreds of thousands of millions of people got the memo. They don't even have email in some of these places, but they got the memo. The EU, that is why the EU is so evil and so wrong and so bad, because they sent this memo out. And now Australia's like, hey, mate, we didn't get the memo. We're not part of your European stinky unions. What's going on?
That the Australian accent and the Irish accent and the English accent, it all just kind of
meshes together in one.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Speaking in Prague, the London-born politician said that effective border protection is not for the squeamish, but it is absolutely necessary to save lives and preserve nations, which is what Trump was talking about. The truly compassionate thing to do is stop the boats and stop the deaths. So I love that Australia has they're celebrating their 900th day because the boats haven't reached their giant, massive continent in the middle of an ocean. Yay!
I think that here's the thing, maybe let them in and send them all out to the sheep stations out in the middle of nowhere.
I think they'd be happy to, though.
Just saying.
We had a friend, her name was Edna. She was from Australia. Oh my gosh, I'm going to show you my boomerang.
She's going to get the boomerang. Oh my gosh.
You'd think we'd have a better Australian accent, mate, because one of our good friends, she died. This is from Australia. This is a real Aboriginal made. We have not tried it out. We don't want to break it.
And we would.
My friend Edna, she died. Like, I'm really sad. She was in her 90s. We used to go to her house and help clean her house and stuff like that. She tells stories how she grew up on a sheep station, and her dad was in the English.
I'll tell you, she
Army.
would say why she lived so long, because she ate lots of kangaroo.
Yeah, she said it was a really hard life, and that her stepdad and her mom and her dug a well with dynamite like 200 feet.
So they'd lower him down in a bucket, right? The mom and Edna would lower the guy down in a bucket, and he would set the dynamite, and then they'd have to like get him up really fast. Dude, if that rope had broken.
And she said that like they didn't have like a car, right? So they would travel into town by camel.
They lived like 1,000 miles away from town. I don't know, it was ridiculous.
It was 3 days.
Whatever, it was a long time.
It was a 3-day journey to town by camel.
That seems like 1,000 miles.
And you had to like camp on your way in.
Whatever.
So she came to America. She was a war bride, but she gave us this.
So yeah, so we have a boomerang, mate.
And she kept her Australian accent, and it's very English to me, but a little bit shorter. You just kind of break it off just a little bit. Sorry,
Whatever.
butchering
All
the
right.
thing.
This is Leah Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it's not a conspiracy theory. If it's the truth, don't
Hey,
forget
mate, watch it.
to like and
We're gonna
comment and
go at
subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks, and ring the bell if you want notifications, and find us on Facebook, and just go maybe practice your Australian accent a little bit.
That's my Crocodile Dundee.
No, Crocodile Dundee didn't do that. It was this.
Oh, that's
What do you
right.
know about
I
anything?
don't remember. I'm sorry. It's been a while.
Maybe
It's been a while, mate.
That was a good one.
It's been a while.
You need to learn to shave your face with that big knife. Or your legs. I guess you're a guy. You're not a guy. You could shave your legs, not your face.
Stop it.
The big knife. All right.
Good night, mate.
I was cold all alone. No place for